5 hours of finals. Woo! Day 1 of 4 complete. And you know what they say, the show must go on, I guess. I will do a review today, and just in time too, because yesterday I've just finished rewatching Monster with one of my friends. So, why not do a review of Monster? I already checked my page to make sure I didn't do one, and if I somehow did, then it glitched and I'm mad. Like, I'm gonna type in Monster, and no video results. I would have hoped I put in Monster. And so, you know what that means, I'm doing a anime review of Monster today, of course. What else would I be doing if I just finished Monster? Or refinished Monster. I just gotta find it on my anime list, wherever the hell it is. Where'd it go? It exploded. It disappeared. It's gone. Okay, what did I rate this? Like, not an 8? Oh, I did. Okay, it's right there. It's on near the bottom. Okay, found it. There are 74 episodes in total of this. It aired in 2004 and went on to 2005, but the dub was on a couple years ago. Like, they dubbed it rather recently compared to 2004 and 2005. Madhouse drew it, same people who drew Death Note, if you know them. Although Death Note was 1 year later, I believe. The dub is not bad. I don't know if it's Caffey approved, but I won't be mad if you watch it. It's a good enough dub. It's kind of a horror. It's not that scary is the thing. I would not consider it a horror. Although I've heard a lot of people describe it to me as that, and I've had a lot of people say, oh, it's a lot like Death Note, but it's very plot-heavy, but it's not like not that plot-twisty, I guess. But regardless, it's not bad. Don't think it is the next Death Note or something really good, because it's really not that great. And I don't know why it's ranked 25 on what's this place called? My anime list. It's not nearly deserving of that. Wait, is it really ranked 25? Hang on. That should not be it, like, in the slightest. Wow, it is. That's bullcrap. So, and I'll call it bullcrap because well, I'll get into that in the review. So, story. Why is it bullcrap? Well, I don't know, maybe this is from a writer's perspective thing, but you cannot empathize with the characters at all, because, like, the character will be introduced. 2 episodes later, something will happen to the character, and we're supposed to feel bad for the character, but we didn't even really freaking know this guy. It was just, like, Man X, who just, like, appeared, like, an episode or 2 ago, and, let's just be like, oh, that's unfortunate, but I don't really care about that guy. I care about this guy right here, and this guy, but, like, nothing happens to them until, like, episode 73. So who cares about everyone else? Like, it adds a lot of random people, and not in a bad way, but it doesn't give you enough time ever. And maybe I should be talking about this under characters, but it doesn't give you enough time ever to empathize with them when something happens to them. Like, ever. Except for like episode 73, when stuff actually happens to, like, the main characters for, like, the first time in, like, freaking forever. On top of that, the story's not bad, it's just they could have done so much more with it. Like, there's this one scene where Anna attacks... Yeah, I'll spoil something. Where Anna attacks the psychological doctor. I forget his freaking name right now. It's off the top of my head. But and she has there's a monster inside of her, and you're just like, oh crap, stuff just got real, and then they never go back to that ever. And you're just like, oh well, that was not important in the slightest. Why did we just see that? Like when it's so cool. There's no, like, real monster. Like, it's just, I don't know, kids who were angry. And now they grew up and they can buy guns. And I was like, man, that was anticlimactic. I mean, all in all, I mean, there's a couple plot twists throughout the story that are really crazy that I was never able to call, except for the ending when it was kind of just like, I guess Tenma's gonna shoot Johan in the head, and he's gonna have to redo surgery on Johan, and then it happened, and I was like, oh, wow, that was really bad. Like, what the hell? That is a super cop-out. And then it leaves without saying anyone's name, without giving, like, almost any closure. I have to give the story a 7, though, because while it does cop out in many places, there are the few plot twists that I even couldn't guess, and it keeps you entertained, you know, so they did something right. Next up, characters. As I was saying about the characters, they introduce them so fast, don't give much background on them, and they tell you everything. They don't show you everything. They don't have, like, little kid X run up and be like, ha 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 ha, hi daddy. It's just like, I am a father. And now we accept that he's a father. They don't show anything, and that's terrible storytelling from the view of a storyteller. It's really annoying. I don't know. It also doesn't let you draw the conclusion that he's a father, which doesn't let you relate to him as much. Even just the way they handle their characters, I think, is atrocious. And characterization. What characterization besides of Tenma? What characterization, I ask you? And Ava. Besides that, like, please, there was none at all. So for characters, I'm gonna have to give it a 3. Pretty bad on that part. As for music, it had quite good music. Like, even though the opening theme isn't like J-pop or J-rock or jazz or something, still able to get into it, and they have a nice variation of music. The opening's music's sketchy and sets a nice mood and is really good. So all in all, I'd give the music a 9. It doesn't get that perfect 10, but it has great music. And then lastly, animation, I will give a 10. It's drawn really well. I've always loved Madhouse's style. It doesn't look like... It's not Death Note-like 10, but it's still really good. I've seen a lot of animes where you can't see, like, anything because of where they position the quote-unquote camera. Sometimes things are just drawn weird. You can't tell what this is and what that is. It's, you know, like the drawing style, etc., etc. All in all, which I've already said, I think Madhouse did a Madhouse job. A 10, just barely. If it was slightly worse, I would have given it a 9 easily, but I don't know, I like Madhouse. Maybe I'm just a little biased. I think it's great. The drawing style, at least. Although, a lot of the little kids look exactly the same, but not enough that you can't see the difference. Like, you'll be like, oh, that looks exactly like Dieter almost, although I know it's not, but that looks a lot like him. Other than that, you know, everyone, you can tell distinct characters. It's almost has a funny little comedic approach to it, I guess. All little kids look the same. I don't know. Anyway, what does it do well? There are times when you will slowly be like, okay, plot is slowed down, everything's slowed down, it's going to get a little boring. I don't even. And then there'll be a really intense scene that episode when you're just like, I'm just expecting this to just pan out, and then like explosion, gunshots, someone's dying, gets really intense, and you're like, oh my god, I did not see that coming. They build up in a good or a bad way. I think it's a good way, but that's maybe just because I'm a yet again storyteller. But I think what they do is they make it not boring, but they make it really slow, such that you almost don't want to watch it anymore. But almost don't want to watch it. You still want to watch it. It's just you're like, maybe in a couple episodes if nothing happens, I might drop the series, but that's a maybe. I'll keep watching now. And then by the time you're almost at your end, huge thing coming, and you don't see it coming because you just think it's just gonna slow down and it's not that good. So in that regard, I would give it a 9. only a 9 because it's at the same time making you not want to watch the show, although the way they did it, the big event should happen before you leave and drop the show, but for those impatient people, you will probably leave sometime. Overall, I must give this, for the review's sake, probably a 7. Although I gave it an 8 on Mal. And, no awards. No awards. If you're looking for a long thing that's really story-based, and, you know, the story's not that great, but, you know, it's not bad. With a few plot twists that you will not be able to call. Except the ending. It's not bad. Although I gave away, like, a lot of story information. Sorry about that. I usually don't like doing that, but I just had to let that out. Anyway, guys, speaking of Death Note, in my comment, I don't know if you guys have read it, I have a Death Note fanfic of how it should have ended. It's a good fanfic, don't lie to me. It's not the normal kind of fanfic. It has good writing, probably some spelling and grammar mistakes, because I don't spell check things, but and a few. It's not like I have. It's riddled with like hilarious, enormous amounts of mistakes or anything. But I think it is a much better way to end Death Note. So put the link to first chapter in the description. Please go read it if you've seen Death Note. It picks up from someone like dying outside. Picks up from the last episode of Death Note, and I'm kind of sketched out. Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, hopefully we won't be next. It must be Johan. Anyway, peace, guys. I will be doing a video on Wednesday about news.